everyone. Good morning. It is so good to see you. We're turning up the energy on a Tuesday. Sometimes you need that on a Tuesday.
Absolutely.
I'm Tim Pham.
And I'm Shannon Curtis. But while you're turning up the energy, you might want to turn up the heat a little bit.
Yeah, I like how
it's a little chilly. It is definitely a little bit chilly. Meteorologist Thomas Patrick joining us now to break it all down for us and tell us just how chilly it's going to get and how much snow we could actually see. I say begrudgingly.
Yeah, this is definitely a winter-like forecast here, because if it's a little bit chilly right now, it's going to be a lot chilly later in the week, because we'll see temperatures in the 20s and even teens by the weekend, but not before we get snowfall first. And that's what I want to lead with, is tomorrow morning, snow will be falling across the inland northwest, with the northern half of our viewing area, including Spokane and Coeur d'Alene, under winter weather advisories for the first time of the season. As much as 3 inches of snow, though that should be a stretch for most regions. 1 to 2 inches of snow very much likely for most of those locations, as that's the storm system we're watching, still about 24 hours away from that first snowfall. And if we see any precipitation today, it's just rain, but it will be a cold rain shower in the afternoon, with the rain at first picking up after midnight, transitioning into snow by 6 a.m. at the latest tomorrow morning.
Well, as Thomas just mentioned, we are expecting to see snow during tomorrow's morning commute, especially in certain areas. And many of us here in the inland northwest are used to driving in the snow.
That's right. But some young drivers and even people who might be new to the area might not have as much experience driving in snow. So here are some tips that you should know. First, drive for the conditions. That means driving slower and leaving extra space between your car and any other vehicle. Don't use cruise control, because that could actually cause you to hydroplane. Washington State Patrol says that you should give yourself plenty of time when driving in snowy conditions, so make sure that you budget some extra time for yourself on your morning commute tomorrow.
And as we all know, Spokane is built around hills. Here are some tips on how to tackle those snowy hills tomorrow and really all season long. These are great reminders. Pro tip number 1, if you can, avoid the hills. But if you have to drive on a hill, be confident in your approach. Start with a little bit of acceleration before you reach the hill, but don't try to speed up it. If you do that and you get on the hill, you might just get stuck and your wheels will be spinning. So make sure you have enough initial speed, otherwise you won't get up the hill. Well, tomorrow's snowfall is just the first of many we will see over the next few months.
So now is the time to start preparing for winter driving, and we want to help you get ready. If you need to get your car serviced or get new tires, now is definitely the time to do so before those auto shops fill up. For studded snow tires in Washington, you can put those on your car starting November 1st. But if you live in Idaho, you can actually put them on your car right now. Make sure to keep an eye on when you have to have them removed, because you could get fined in the spring.
Well, here's a helpful guide from WashDOT on what to carry in your vehicle for the winter season. Restock your emergency kit and make sure it has jumper cables, a first aid kit, and flashlight. If you are driving through mountain passes, make sure to have tire chains. By the way, it is required by law in Washington State. And of course, don't forget your ice scraper or snow brush.
Ahead of the anticipated snowfall, both Spokane City and county officials will be updating the public on their snow plan for this winter. Today, county officials will also be showing the new equipment they'll be using to clean the roads. Mayor Nadine Woodward will also give an update on the city's snow response plan tomorrow. Spokane has recently been deemed a new leader in the aerospace industry. The city was just selected as one of 31 tech hubs to help propel America's growth from materials manufacturing. So this morning, KREM 2's Brandon T. Jones is joining us live right now. So Brandon, break this down for us. What does this actually mean for Spokane?
Yeah, good morning, Channing. And ultimately what this means is that Spokane is helping lead the charge on new technology and new jobs in our country. And of course, those new jobs here in Spokane equals a positive economic impact as well. But this new designation was made by the Department of Commerce's Economic Development Administration. More than 200 applications came in, but Spokane was just one of a few that have been tapped as a new hub. Airway Heights will soon be the home of a new aerospace materials manufacturing center. It's a step that has a lot of different parties excited about the future.
From our point of view, it's a result of years of hard work from companies like Acrofab, who have been an active part of the aerospace supply chain for a number of years. And so this actually gives us an opportunity to build off of that, to grow the ecosystem and create more jobs.
Ultimately, what made this possible is the collaboration of nearly 50 Spokane-based organizations. They're working together as the Inland Northwest Consortium. That includes local universities and government agencies as well. So now with the selection, the Tech Hub could now qualify for up to $75 million in funding. But for now, reporting live in Spokane County, Brandon T. Jones, KREM News.
Brand new for you this morning, newly released court documents show the Kellogg man charged with shooting and killing his 4 neighbors is asking that his wife not be forced to testify against him.
Yesterday on Up with KREM, we told you Major John Kaler also filed to have his confession to police thrown out, saying that he was not read his Miranda rights. KREM 2's Shannon Mounty breaks down the new filing.
In Friday's filing, Kaler's attorney acknowledges Kaler told Shoshone County Sergeant Jared Belaski he shot his neighbors as soon as the sergeant saw him at the scene. Sergeant Belaski ordered Kaler to the ground, where Kaler made more comments. "You shot 4 people," Belaski reportedly asked. Kaler said he had. But Kaler's attorney says at this moment, he was essentially in custody, triggering Miranda. The filing says Kaler made more statements about calling the police on his neighbor and police refusing to do anything about it. Kaler had accused his teenage neighbor of sexually inappropriate behavior in front of his children. Kaler continued talking after he was handcuffed and taken to a patrol car. The sergeant told him he'd need to read him his Miranda rights, but didn't, leaving Kaler in the car. The filing says more than 2 hours later, Kaler was questioned at a nearby church. His attorney says Idaho State Police Detective Justin Klitsch acknowledged he had his Miranda card, but didn't read Kaler those rights until mid-interview. The defense argues Detective Klitsch immediately preyed on Kaler's emotional state and his role as a father by bringing up a podcast about sexual predators and Kaler's allegations about his neighbor's actions in front of his children. The detective mentioned a Facebook post Kaler's wife made about those accusations. The defense argues this was an intentional 2-part interrogation technique, only reading Kaler his rights after provoking his emotions and incriminating statements. The defense wants the entire interview suppressed.
Now the defense is asking for a 90-minute hearing to present evidence to support these arguments. So far, a date for that has not been set. His trial is currently scheduled to begin on January 9th.
All right, the time now is 6:08. Let's take a look at your morning rush. More news in less time. This morning, flags across Idaho are flying at half-staff in honor of a Post Falls police officer who died in the line of duty this last weekend. Officer Nicholas McDaniel died from a massive heart attack while on patrol. McDaniels was just 36 years old. He had worked for the Post Falls Police Department for almost 1 year and served as a police officer in Hawaii for 13 years. Washington State Senator Jeff Wilson was arrested in Hong Kong for bringing a gun onto an airplane. Wilson represents the 19th District in southwestern Washington. He got through the security at the Portland International Airport last Friday with a handgun in his carry-on bag, but he says he didn't know he had the gun in his bag until halfway through the flight to Hong Kong. Wilson said when he landed in Hong Kong, he immediately reported what happened. He was arrested, posted bail, and has a court date next week. New details this morning: a Washington corrections officer will spend the next 5 years in prison for smuggling drugs. Court documents show 44-year-old Leticia Rodriguez was a member of a large group of drug traffickers. Rodriguez acted as a courier for the group, moving money and drugs between eastern Washington, Arizona, and California. That is a look at your morning rush.
At 6:10 this morning, our temperatures are in the 30s, and so far this is the coldest we've been all season in Spokane at 37 degrees. But by this point, tomorrow morning will be below the freezing mark with snow falling across most of the inland northwest. So we have still about 24 hours to prepare for that. For this morning, though, just a fairly chilly morning out there, mostly mid-30s. A couple spots in far northern Washington like Colville are already below the freezing mark at 31 degrees there. But as we look ahead to our winter storm system, well, it could be rain at first before midnight tonight, but by this hour tomorrow morning, 6 a.m., we will likely be seeing some very wet snowfall across Spokane, Coeur d'Alene, and areas to the north.